I'd like to welcome all of you distinguished ladies, gentlemen, and those who do not prefer to adhere to the
Gender
binary. Welcome to this podcast, Ringside with John and Kendra. I'm John.
I guess I'm Kendra. That's so funny, John. You sound just like Benoit Blanc.
Well, there's a reason for that. Because he's back, baby.
The Blanc is back in town.
The Blanc is back in town.
And he'd love that song. And
you know he would. He's a very
cultured
man.
Very cultured.
So 'tis the season, another holiday season, another Knives Out mystery gracing our screens.
We're diving right in.
I
was going to mention the fact that we just came from Walt Disney World, which is why we're rocking the Disney
attire.
The Disney attire.
Yeah, I've got my candy cane Mickey hat on.
Yeah. Today was our last day before our blackout dates for our passes, so we had to go. It's like the only time we've been there during the holidays. So, had to go, absorb, eat cookies.
Absorb the energy core.
I will absorb the energy core. If you know where that is from, please leave some sort of comment, because I fear I may be the only person who quotes that part of that movie.
On like a semi-daily basis.
Like all the time.
At least a weekly basis.
That's not one of the most popular quotes from that movie, but it's near and dear to my heart. Anyway, I won't tell you what it is. But yes, it is holiday time. You guys know we're huge Christmas people. Oh my God, it's not Halloween. We love Christmas, obviously. And today we got a very special holiday present. We got a new Knives Out film on Netflix.
And that's going to be one of the highlights when we talk about Netflix this episode. But we got a new installment to the Knives Out franchise. Ryan John's dad, dropping, and I'm going to say it right here, another banger. This series has not missed a single beat, a single step, nor would a cultured man like Benoit Blanc. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't miss a step. He wouldn't miss a beat.
He would, and he would be very humble about it.
Right.
But then he'd like show out twice as hard, figuring out whatever he's there to figure out.
Right. So I'm gonna give this one right off rip. I really, really like this movie. Yeah, these movies are so much fun and they're so clever. But what I loved about this one in particular is that while it still maintains and builds upon everything we love from these movies, I love how they played with the size of this. Like, I feel like Glass Onion was considerably bigger than something like Knives Out, but I feel like here we really dialed it back with the type of sets we were using, the type of community we were in, like. And who knows why? Maybe there was a logistical reason why they decided to do that, but I do feel like it helped this particular story because I don't know. I just feel like it. How do I want to say this? I feel like now they've proven that we can put this type of story and a character like Benoit Blanc in so many different scenarios, and it's never gonna feel like out of place. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
No, I get what you mean. And Glass Onion, I do think that Wake Up Dead Man might be my favorite of all of the Knives Out movies. I haven't seen the first one in a while, so I do need to go back and rewatch it.
We acknowledge a little bit of recency bias, but we
Perhaps, but I don't know. I really enjoyed it. Glass Onion was another one where we were confined to one space with, a handful of characters. And that would I feel like logically that should have felt smaller. But I think because the compound they were on and the characters themselves were all so grandiose, it felt a lot bigger. And they had every character had such an important role within their career field that had so many other implications, like politicians, scientists, or data, whatever Leslie Odom Jr. was, influencers. These are very popular people. The reach of it just felt a lot bigger.
Yeah.
This felt so quaint because we're in a technically probably a bigger space geographically in like a town with more people involved, or on the outskirts. But because it was so quaint and we spent so much of our time like in the cottage, in the church, in the bar, like it didn't feel grandiose. It didn't feel big and looming and overwhelming like Glass Onion did, or like Knives Out did, because they were all over town in that one.
Yeah.
From what I remember. So yeah, I appreciate that. I love Benoit Blanc. I love an early Benoit Blanc release into the plot. But I think how they did it in this one, where they reserved him till like act 2 or whatever.
Yeah, you get like a good 20 or so minutes into the movie before he shows up.
I felt like
in a real way.
Yeah, we got so much setup, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And hey, listen, I'll rewatch Knives Out, but I do think this one just felt so, I don't know, it felt different. It's the same like whodunit structure. We have like our protagonist and Benoit Blanc is there solving stuff, but it felt different.
They've settled in. Like you can definitely feel that
they've
Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig like really like they get it. I think at this point it's down to a science.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. We were talking about this before. I mean, this is a review. We're not really going to go into like a whole lot of spoilers. So light spoilers ahead. You know, this isn't the type of movie where I think there's really no way to predict where any of these stories go. But that's what I love about it. And that brings me to my next point. We were talking about it after we watched the movie. It's so cool to think that like because of the type of movie it is, like like a detective whodunit mystery, there's not a whole lot of like at least in this one there's not a whole lot of like action. You know, Daniel Craig isn't James Bond, right? He's not doing that sort of shit anymore.
Yeah,
which to me is exciting because I'm like, he could do these movies for another 10 or so years, like
20 years,
and not miss a beat, really. And it's exciting to know that, I don't know, like he's got this character, like all the makings of the character that he can play for another couple decades, and he will be like, that will be something he's known for. And then, you know, in 30, 40 years, when they decide they want to reboot the franchise or continue it with another actor, like, I don't know, it's like another James Bond or Sherlock Holmes types role.
Yeah.
Where I could see other actors in the future playing this role. And I don't know, just something about that is really cool. And I really hope that, I know we have 2 more sequels, or maybe just 1 more sequel officially signed with Netflix. I remember when they initially got the rights for Knives Out, I thought there was like 3, maybe 4 movies. So
I can't remember.
I don't know. I would imagine though that if Rian Johnson and Daniel Craig wanted to,
they would keep
Netflix going. Would keep making them.
Yeah. And I know this one was released in theaters like I think a week early or something like that. I wonder how well it did in theaters.
That's the age-old question with Netflix. Right now, they're in the business of they'll release a movie for a little bit so they can get awards recognition.
Yeah. Anyway,
we'll see. Well, we'll talk a little bit later if there's time about Netflix's plans for theatrical releases. But
hey, listen.
We didn't even hang on. Let's rewind. Before we move on from Wake Up Dead Man, there's one thing we have to talk about, because as the character Benoit Blanc progresses and we learn more about him in these movies, one thing has become abundantly clear, and it is the man is a fan of musical theater. He was on a Zoom call with Stephen Sondheim, and his dramatic little self in this church sees a pipe organ, and what does he play? We recognize it by the first chord. He plays the theme to Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera musical.
First of all, I was crying, screaming, throwing up, because I was like, anytime I hear that in the wild, and we've heard it some crazy places.
We hear it in football games when your dad's watching.
Hockey, It was at the hockey game the one time we went to the Lightning game.
We were at a freaking Renaissance fair.
Yes.
And
it's like you know how there are like sleeper agents and they hear like a certain code word or something and they're awakened? That's me with bam, 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 and I'm like,
and it's just that chord. It's that the second that chord hit, Kendra and I just jumped up and looked at each other because we're like, oh my god,
I wasn't expecting
it. Phantom.
And then wasn't he listening to
He was
something?
listening to Cats, I think.
Yeah.
So
right, big Andrew Lloyd Webber shout out in Wake Up Dead Man, I guess.
Listen, I just love. That's our love language, is hearing Phantom in the Wild.
Yeah. Our song.
It's simply, I love that show so much.
It's you haven't rewatched it this year.
No.
I watched it for Halloween time. Maybe we can make it a Christmas movie. It's cold, I guess.
Yeah.
France.
Wishing you were somehow here again. But then that got me to this next idea, which is, all right, we've done, a snowy town. We've done a tropical compound.
We've done religion.
We've done a religious piece. We need to get Benoit Blanc on Broadway.
Yeah.
We need to get him in a theater. We need chandeliers falling. We need sopranos and tenors going missing. Like, we need something.
If a tenor's going missing,
it's everyone's problem.
I'm not looking for him. Bye.
Man, fuck
We've got enough of you. But yeah, like Benoit Blanc in the city, in the Big Apple.
Yeah. We could do Blanc over Broadway. I don't care.
I want to. I'm going to go wrong Southern. I want to be a part of BA. Buenos Aires, Big Apple. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so bad at the accent.
She said her final words were, "Don't cry for me.
Argentina." Yeah. Anyway, Benoit Blanc, you could stick him anywhere and he'd fit in. But I do think he particularly would love.
If we see Benoit Blanc on 42nd Street in Times Square making his way to a theater, I'm gonna lose my mind. I think there's so much fun to be had with that. We could get huge names. We can get like Bernadette Peters in there.
Yeah, huge like stage actors.
Yeah, we get
Lin.
We get Lin-Manuel Miranda in there,
and then Lin did it. Oh my God, Lin killed him. Somebody, I don't know.
Lin-Manuel Murderanda.
Episode title.
Listen, I think sometimes he gets annoyed with me, so I don't know.
That's true. We are maybe a little bit too close to Lin to say
maybe he doesn't. I don't know.
Maybe he appreciates it.
But I was quickly notified that he was not the voice of the Cowardly Lion, and that's as far as I'll take that statement.
Maybe stop spreading rumors on the internet.
I didn't think he'd watch that video.
Someone did.
Someone showed him. So anyway, we do have one more case to attend to here.
And what case would that be?
Ladies and gentlemen, there's been a murder. The murder of the career of one Jonathan Cena.
And he would call him Jonathan.
No, I mean the big talk of a lot of our circles here is John Cena's final match. First and foremost, thank you, Cena.
Thank you, Cena,
for the career.
Trav Nation.
C Nation, Trav Nation, C Nation, the two greatest nations on earth. Yeah, I mean it's pretty wild to think, for an entire generation of like now adults, like he's been a staple in the ring in WWE. Like, I mean, it's really a remarkable legacy he leaves behind, and I'm excited for the type of roles he'll finally get to do. I always feel like he had one foot in, one foot out at WWE, so it'll be interesting to see how much more he can spread his wings as an actor. But of course, I mean, we have to like acknowledge the career he had. But his final match was part of a Saturday night's main event, which overall in a really, really cool way, was highlighting the future of WWE, featuring a bunch of NXT and even some TNA talent, but particularly in the form of Obafemi, Sol Ruca, Javon Evans, Leon Slater, and of course Gunter, who is not in NXT but is sort of a staple on the main roster right now. And I think after this win, definitely moving forward. But yeah, I think overall the night was definitely one of my favorite Saturday night main events.
It's not hard though.
Yeah, I mean it's the bar's not super high for Saturday night main event. There have been good ones, but there have also been some stinkers. But yeah, just some general overall thoughts of, and not that there's been not a whole lot of people sharing their thoughts and opinions on the match and how it went.
Haven't heard anything actually about it.
So I figured we could start the conversation,
Okay. First, I would like to reiterate to people who maybe don't know, I'm a very recent wrestling convert.
In the grand scheme of it.
I started watching wrestling in 2021, right? Yeah. So, but even though I was outside of that realm, I knew two wrestlers, except for Hulk. I'm not even going to count Hulk Hogan. Yeah. I'm from Tampa. I'm from St. Petersburg. I'm from the Tampa Bay area. So like we grew up hearing the myth of Hulk Hogan. He's somewhere. He's around. Be careful.
Whether you wanted him there or not.
Whether we wanted, he was like our version of the like Bigfoot. It's like he's somewhere here, somewhere.
Yeah.
And you never know when you're going to run into him. Anyway, but other than that, I knew The Rock and John Cena. Those are like,
right.
When your career is so iconic and legendary that people outside of wrestling know your name. So I wasn't like a John Cena fan, but I had heard of him all growing up,
right,
my whole life. So, but being like a recent, like weekly watcher of WWE, I do feel very lucky that I got in it when I did. So I was able to see those few years leading up to this and then be able to like understand, not fully, but a little bit better, the gravity of watching someone's last match. Like someone John Cena level's last match. So that's some background on that. Now, my review. I didn't watch it live. Well, I watched that match live. I watched the end of that match live. And then I went back and I watched the beginning. And then I turned it off before you know what happened. From what I understand, it is very commonplace for these big, huge wrestlers on their way out to put over someone newer. It's like a rite of passage, to my understanding. So, although I did think it was kind of a boring end, not so much like John Cena tapping out, just like it didn't feel like there was enough fight before that moment for me. Although I did think it was boring. I kind of wasn't surprised because leading up to it, I had been hearing this is what is typically done. The veteran will lose, maybe not tap out, but will lose, put over this next generational talent, and that's that. And I think John Cena's expression as he was tapping out was very much like acknowledging that and also kind of like losing with grace to the point where it's like, even though he lost this match because of like the tone and the choices character-wise that he was making, I'm like, okay, he's like, he lost technically, but it was more like a sacrifice to welcome in this new generation. And another thing I want to say, Gunt, just because he's been on the main roster for a year or two, that to me does not like a veteran make. So I still qualify Gunther as an up and coming generational talent. So I also wasn't upset that he was the one being put over by John Cena losing. Tapping, and listen, the whole John Cena never gives up and now he's tapping out thing. I don't care as much about that. I don't care that he lost via tap out because of all the things I've already said before. Like, I don't know. When people get hung up on those little things like that, like, it's not even that he lost, it's that he tapped out, he gave up. I'm like,
yeah,
I would too. Damn.
Yeah. I think I'm with you on a lot of that. I didn't hate the finish. I will say, and maybe it's just me. Even as the match was happening, I think I sort of convinced myself. I'm like, maybe they will have John Cena win because it almost seems too obvious to have Gunther beat him. So, as the match was going on, I'm like, damn, like he's pulling out Super Cena. Like maybe this'll happen, and everyone gets their fairy tale ending. Now, of course, obviously that didn't happen. I was shocked. We were shocked.
The audience
was shocked. It got mad quiet in there, but I didn't hate it. I never once hated it. And in fact, the more I sort of like replayed it and kind of revisited it, like just that moment specifically, I think it makes perfect sense. And I thought that was as deep an ending as you could have possibly given him. We, as much as we love wrestling and love to talk about it and, speculate and theorize and all that fun stuff, at the end of the day, we don't know anything for certain, right?
Yeah.
We can look into rumors and we can do this, that, and the third, but we don't know anything. I would be sort of shocked if John Cena didn't have say in how that entire night went, down to the NXT people he wanted to see up.
Sorry, just on that really quick. I watched part of his interview with Cody Rhodes. What do you want to talk about? That. And he mentioned Javon Evans multiple times.
Yeah.
And like giving him advice and stuff like that. And so that kind of goes along with what you're saying there.
I would be shocked if he didn't have a say in it. I think that's just his style. And also, sorry, I need to. Never, since he's been on the main roster, have subscribed to any Gunther hate. And will never.
We have been Gunt stans since the beginning.
So I do not buy into this false. I mean, they do this with everybody. When Gunther, keep in mind, Gunther was stuck in the mid card for a hot minute under He Who Shall Not Be Named, and was like borderline gonna get buried and fired because he thought him, too boring. I don't know what anyone thinks of the title now. I think it's with the greatest IC champion of all time, Dirty Dom, but the second greatest, Gunther, he elevated that title in such a way where it was a featured spot in multiple WrestleManias, right? He had that the triple threat with Sheamus and Drew, and then he had that match with Sami Zayn. So this idea that like he has boring matches or limited moveset, blah blah blah. It's the same shit they do with every wrestler, right? They're doing it with Jey Uso. I guarantee you they're gonna do it with LA Knight next whenever he comes back and gets a push. But he's not been, like, Gunther has not actually been in the main event picture for as long as we think of him to have been there, because he was technically in the mid card for a while there with the IC Championship with Imperium. So, yeah, of course, maybe if you didn't like his first run, that's fine. Like, you're allowed to not like that. But to sit here and tell us that you think he's boring or you think that he's not deserving, that's wild to me, because go back and watch some of Gunther's matches. Anyway, that's me. That's enough of me glazing Gunther. But overall, I think it's really cool to see that Gunther is now, and I think WWE is capitalizing on it. You have just turned this, this heel into like the heel of your brand right now. You know, like he is the bad guy. He is the villain. He had all the makings to be the villain the entire time. But now he's there. And I'm like, I don't know, like if that's not elevating, and the man is still in his 30s. If that's not elevating new talent, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
But yeah, sorry. My
Kyo's
cat
playing with some
is messing
paper.
with paper. He's very cute. I don't know. I thought the match was fine itself. Like I didn't think, I don't think it was it the best match of the John Cena retirement tour? No, I don't think it was a bad match. Not by any means. I don't think I think we peaked at his match with first his match with Cody at SummerSlam and then his match with AJ Styles. Yeah, I think those are the best two matches he had. And I don't think all of his matches were bad by any means. But yeah, so was it my favorite match? No, but also it doesn't always have to be my favorite match,
It was definitely one of the most memorable John Cena matches. And maybe that's more valuable in the long run. Instead of having this, instead of either granting everyone's expectation of it, or with him winning and not giving up and having this fairy tale ending, I feel like having him lose and having him tap out, maybe that's more memorable because it pissed people off so much.
I also think
sorry.
No, go ahead.
This is just something that we've talked about before too. Watching that was this is gonna be in a YouTube montage one day of craziest wrestling endings of 20 years ago, and we're gonna be like, oh my god, do you remember when we were watching it? And
yeah, I do think that the fan reaction immediately following, both in the crowd, online, whatever, I fully acknowledge that you are allowed to like and dislike whatever for whatever reason. And on the one hand, I can appreciate that a moment like that made people feel things in such a way that they were reacting as a theater artist. You want those sort of things to happen, right? I do think that at large, though, again, the reaction in the space as well as online. I talked about this a little bit on TikTok. I think it just, I don't know, it rubbed me the wrong way. I feel like fans at large have gotten, media literacy is one thing. That's a whole other conversation about what people are able to comprehend is happening and read into, find deeper meaning beyond surface level and what they're literally seeing. So to some, he gave up. He tapped out. He gave up. Okay, but why?
That's
right?
Here.
We don't think.
We need to explore here and here and here.
And it's all the people that complain about, storytelling. And I'm like, well, that's what's happening. You're just not picking up on it. I don't know. I feel like as fans, as fandoms, this is a perfect example. This and the Doomsday trailer are perfect examples of how greedy and unhappy we are with everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just all these different takes. It's been talked about on, ad nauseum, but it's just, I don't know. It rubbed me the wrong way. And I just feel like we need to sort of recalibrate how we got to think a little bit before we just start screaming online about things and into the world about things.
I do think, though, they have an amazing opportunity, as WWE, whether you like it or not, is somewhat good at spinning this rage that the audience has for not even just Gunt, but Triple H, every writer, the finish, whatever, and just push Gunther even further with it. Have him mock their anger, and then, like you said, make him the heel. And we had this interesting idea. You know whose last year is next year?
There's a couple folks.
AJ Styles is one of them. And we saw him and Gunt have a little something on Monday. And we proposed maybe this is Gunther's new thing. He's going to be kind of a, sorry, Randy, a legend killer, and he's going to retire. He retired John Cena. What if next year he retires AJ Styles? What if the year after that he retires Rey Mysterio? What if the year after that he retires Randy Orton?
But there's one person in the upcoming year that we really talked about. So the first ever I think was this year? No, this year was the first ever 2-night SummerSlam, right?
Yes.
Okay, so next year.
Oh, you know why I forgot to mention it is because I fucking hate him.
I know. But I didn't mention that you forgot anything. I was just
forgot that we even mentioned it.
But SummerSlam is going to be in Minneapolis.
And you know what cryptid reigns from Minneapolis?
Yep.
Tiffany Stratton. I'm just kidding.
Bork Laser.
Bork Laser.
Brock Lesnar, allegedly his final SummerSlam will be in his home state, his hometown.
Perfect opportunity.
And they've been teasing Gunt. See, you got me doing it now. They've been teasing Gunter and Brock for a few years now. We saw a little bit of it at the Royal Rumble a few years ago. So
perfect time.
I feel like if he's on this retirement road rage era,
yeah,
I would love to see him retire Brock.
That would be a really cool gimmick to have. I retire like these legendary wrestlers.
He made John Cena give up. He turned the phenomenal one unphenomenal. Yeah, he slayed the beast.
He 6'1"'d the 9. Right.
Yeah, I guess it's never mind. I'm not gonna
we are gonna have to workshop some of these.
So anyway, listen, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities. But do we make him at that point? Does that make him a face? Does one cancel out the other?
In my eyes, if he does retire Brock Lesnar, he is a face.
He's doing the Lord's work.
He's just cleaning up the trash.
That's right, taking out the trash in all ways, shape, and form.
Speaking of Gunther, do you think 2026 is going to be the year that we see an El Grande Americano versus Gunther match? That has to happen at some point. I just don't know how those two are gonna,
Maybe. I think if we see that, he's going to ruin the fun for everybody and unmask him, and we'll finally learn who it is.
No. A fun, silly match that Gunther and El Grande Americano have at a AAA event, I feel like that could be fun. I feel like the AAA audience would give the proper boo.
Yeah.
To Gunther. Anyway, just thinking out loud.
But anyway, would love to hear what y'all thought on John Cena's final match. Again, happy to have a civil discourse, if we're capable of that. Again, I'm pushing for fans, the IWC in particular. Let's be better fans in the big 2-6, yeah? Let's talk about things and not just rage out and crash out and whatnot.
They're gonna crash out now because you said that.
And now that it's been a couple weeks since, at the time of this recording, since that happened, maybe we'll
cool down.
We'll cool down and think a little more logically, right?
Cool running.
Reason will prevail. A couple quick things that have sort of happened. Hey, we mentioned Disney at the top of the episode. Well, there was a little glimmer of light at one point when they were like, hey, I think we're going to stop making these live action remakes. And then Lilo and Stitch came and made a whole lot of money. And they're like, you know what? Never mind. Let's keep doing it. And hey, you know what? We're going to give you a Gaston movie.
Right. Just what I've always wanted. Here's the thing. Ooh. Sorry.
No,
you good?
I'm sorry. I dropped the phone.
I think Gaston, more than anything else, piggybacking off of the success of something like Wicked, and what's
Cruella.
that? Cruella, and then the other one,
Maleficent.
I forgot her name. I haven't seen that movie, but I know that specifically Maleficent was so didn't they do 2 of those? Yeah. That one was really popular. So I feel like, again, if you're going to do something live action, give me something different. If they're going to do something like this, like a villain origin, a villain
prequel
arc.
Yeah.
Or they're not as bad as you thought they were. that's not going to be easy to do for Gaston, but sure, go off. But like something like that, you know, at least it's not a shot-for-shot remake of something I have on VHS.
Yeah.
Or DVD.
Yeah, I am interested to see what this would look like.
Will it be a musical?
I think it would need to be.
It would have to be. He loves to sing.
He loves to sing. I kind of would. I think we talked about this. I kind of would love to see it like he not actually be the main character. I would love to see like maybe LeFou be the main character, and he's just like saving Gaston's ass the entire time in secret. I think that could be fun. But then we started talking about who could play Gaston, and Kendra sort of struck gold with her very first pitch.
It was an accident. David Cornsweet. He's always on my mind. But think about it.
He's dying to do a musical.
Big, strong, loves musicals. Sexy, big, strong, musical. Strong, big, sexy.
That's why she likes me so much, guys.
Yes, you nailed it. I like muscles. What can I say? But I was watching Superman at the time, I believe. Or I just finished Superman when you started talking to me about this. So he was just like on my mind. But I do think that that's a good option. I'm desperate to get him into something musical. Let the man sing. He wants to. He yearns.
Oh, I think, hey, Bobby baby, Bobby Bubby. If you're watching this for some godforsaken reason, I hope you're okay. But if you're watching this, if you listen to this, let's talk turkey. Because I think that's a fantastic casting option. I think he would crush it, and I think it's so different from what I haven't seen him in much else besides Superman, but that would be such a different role and such a different side of him. Mm-hmm. And I think he would have the most fun doing it.
He would have fun. He'd have fun being mean.
Yeah. Because and that would be fun because he doesn't seem like a mean person.
No, not at all. And I also think if they did it, I would want them to do something like lean into how campy Gaston is as a character. Yeah. And I think I could see David Cornsweet doing it. Do I see David Cornsweet making that decision to like be in a Disney live action movie right now? I don't know.
If they cut him a nice fat check
and they promise like, hey, this one won't be bad, we promise. Maybe. We also thought, sorry to get off the Gaston train.
No, you're okay.
We also were considering, again, what can we possibly put David Cornsweet in? And I said Brad in Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
That's not bad either. If anyone wants to take that one. Not a lot to do as Brad. Brad's kind of a loser. But he has a song.
He has a song.
Does he have more than one? Just the one? What did they do in the Glee episode where they did Rocky Horror? How many did Brad have? Can you guess who? Well, you don't know the show like that. Finn.
Who?
Finn was Brad.
Oh.
It makes so much sense if you.
I know Kurt and Blaine. Learned those guys this morning.
I don't believe Blaine was there yet.
Okay.
Kurt was one of them.
Matthew Morrison.
Guess who Matthew Morrison was?
Frankenfurter. Was he Frank?
No.
Was he the professor?
Was Matthew Morrison? I don't know if Matthew Morrison was cast in it, but the teacher sang, what's the one that's like Creature of the Night? Do you remember that song?
Yes.
The teacher, Emma Pillsbury, oh my God, I pulled that out of my ass. She sang it, and she was dating Will Schuester, Matthew Morrison at the time, and they had these terrifying camera angles where she was like laying on a desk and they would just like come right in front of her face and sing, and like right in the camera, right in the middle, staring down the camera.
That's the Janet song, isn't it?
I think she sang the Janet song.
What the hell is that song called?
Creature of the Night. Anyway, Matthew Morrison's fucking face popping up in the camera, dead on, staring into the camera. Oh my God. Nightmares for weeks. What a scary, scary man. Matthew Morrison, flip it around. Wicked Witch.
Anyway, but yeah, so that's what happened with Disney and their freaking Gaston announcement. And then
I went on a tangent.
Huh?
I went on a tangent.
I know you.
I forgot where we started.
It always comes back to Glee.
Always back to Glee.
I feel like there was something else that happened. What the hell are you doing?
Oh, don't worry about that. Keep it going.
I feel like there was something else. I started making this list of things to talk about a few days ago, and then I feel like more happened, and I cannot remember. Jesus Christ.
We're looking at pictures of Matthew Morrison
against my will. Like, is this what it feels like to be is this what it feels like to be a Gleek? Is to just be
see him against your will?
To see Will Schuester against my will?
Yeah, see, and this was the thing, and he's looking. Oh my God, look.
Kendra, stop. I feel like this could be considered assault.
I'm sorry.
What's happening here?
Let me get out of here. Oh, Kurt was this guy.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on all the Rocky Horror names.
Riff
Raff.
Yes.
Oh man. My musical theater card is going to need to be pulled after this episode. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about, and I don't want to talk about it for too long because it does just
bummer.
It is a bit of a bummer, but I do think people should know about it. So, by now you've all probably heard about the sale of Warner Brothers. So, if you follow any sort of film news, you've known that Warner Brothers has been in this weird state for the last few years. They had this bizarre merger. Well, first they were acquired by AT&T. I don't know if you remember that. Yeah, AT&T were the proud owners of Warner Brothers for a few years. That's why John Oliver would constantly throw digs at them.
I do remember that.
And then they were like, hey, actually, never mind. And they fucking got rid of them. And so then they had a merger with Discovery. So they became Warner Brothers Discovery. And now they're like, you know what? What if we just sold ourselves?
Okay.
So there was basically a bidding war. A bunch of, Paramount was trying to purchase them. I think Universal were in talks at one point, like NBC Universal. But no, the sleeper agent, the sleeper villain of them all, Netflix came out the freaking gate and won this bidding war, offering like $86 billion for Warner Brothers, not Discovery, which is breaking off and will be their own thing.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And I believe this is all of like the entertainment, like streaming aspect of it. So not like the news and stuff like that, I believe is what they're paying for. Sort of like when Fox sold to Disney, they kept like Fox Sports and Fox News. But everything else went to Disney.
Okay.
So I think that's more or less how that is. Now, is it great for the industry? No, because a lot of people will lose jobs, and when there's less options, there's less quality, right? And Netflix, while they do have the occasional banger of a show or a movie that drops in the
K-pop hit, Demon Hunters,
I would say the majority of what they put out is not good.
Yeah, garbo.
It's just not good. It's not well made. It's not well written. It's not well acted. It's just not good. They're dumbing down people with their content, actually. But the real tricky part of this is that Netflix, and this is what we were sort of talking about with Wake Up Dead Man, is that they are pretty openly not in favor of movie theaters. Mm-hmm. They want people on their streaming service, which, as business folks, protecting their business makes sense. Here's the issue: when they're gonna own essentially two major movie studios themselves and Warner Brothers, this was like their best year in decades in terms of box office, like from Minecraft to Sinners and Superman and more. Like this was one of their best years in cinemas. So it's a little weird that they would, want to sell now, because I feel like they're making more money than ever. But now it's like, well, what does that mean for the theatrical experience?
Right.
So that's one thing. On the other hand, remember when I said Paramount was trying to make a bid to purchase Warner Brothers? Mm-hmm. Well, they lowballed them because they assumed that their relationship with the Trump administration would all but guarantee that this merger would happen. So they were a little surprised and annoyed that Netflix won the bidding war. So Paramount, who are owned by like MAGA tech bros, the Ellisons, along with Saudi Arabia through their like public investment fund or whatever.
Great.
They decided to team up and make a hostile bid after the fact, after they've already agreed to sell to Netflix, who they still have to do like a whole lot of, there's a lot of legalese they have to go through before that merger can actually happen, but they've agreed to sell to Netflix is the thing. So they got together, said, we'll give you over $100 billion to purchase Warner Brothers. Now, the fact, it would be bad enough if either the Ellisons or the Saudi Arabia were the ones that wanted to purchase Warner Brothers. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they're together,
yeah,
and they're trying to speak the film bro language of like, we want to preserve the movie theater experience and, you know, blah 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 blah. Cool, great, fine, whatever. But that also means they would then, Paramount already owns CBS News and a bunch of other shit now. That means they would also own CNN and HLN, which is the headline news.
I thought you said it was just entertainment, not news. Or is their bid to buy everything for $100 billion?
I think they want to buy everything.
Oh.
I know I said what I said before, and that's what I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
I could very well be wrong. Okay. I could be wrong. But
yeah,
if they bought it at large, mm-hmm. So thank you. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, and I'll say that up front here. I thought it was just for the entertainment stuff, but maybe that does include news. And
news at this point, it's more entertainment than anything else.
But basically, that would, if that were the case, that would allow them to push pro-Trump propaganda in a major way. And even if they didn't have news stations to do that, they could still do that with the messaging of whatever product they wanted to put out.
Yeah.
And the silencing of voices.
And I would even say, like, taking the pro-Trump out of it, because that is a very valid concern. Just the fact that one company could own so many sources of news and fact is just scary, period. No matter whose side that they're on and pushing information for. Like, that just shouldn't happen, because that's a monopoly. You're monopolizing news. Right. That just shouldn't happen, no matter who's in charge and who's pushing for who. Just bad idea, bad news.
Right. So yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, as of right now, because I know that, like, somebody, maybe shareholders, because they're the only people that anyone listens to anyway, were like, don't take that big bid. It's not going to end well for us.
Yeah, whatever team that, you know, I think it was WB, basically. Yeah. We're talking to the shareholders and we're like, hey, here's this giant list of concerns if we were to go with like that come with a Paramount merger.
Yeah.
And here's why we should not do it.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately, listen, Netflix apparently was just casually thinking about purchasing Disney and Marvel. And like, how the fuck much money do they have?
I know,
like,
right?
That's fucking wild.
I've thought for a second there that Netflix was like dying.
Yeah. No, it does not seem that way. In fact, I think they're the Wilson Fisk of the media world right now, just lurking in silence.
Boom.
Truly.
Boom. Stranger Things season 5. Boom.
That's right.
Boom.
So I think now, again, I don't know that a Netflix Disney merger could happen. I don't think that someone would allow that to happen. But
there are
at
no
this point,
rules
who knows anymore? But now they would own a lot if that were the case. So maybe I'm thinking of sports stations and not. Maybe I'm thinking of sports and TV that's not included. I think maybe I'm thinking of streaming and theatrical entertainment.
Okay.
I think that makes more sense.
That makes more sense to me as well, but
yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
This whole thing is like so.
It's confusing
and frustrating, and like every 2 years, Warner Brothers is somewhere else with other people, and I'm like, I just can't keep track anymore. So I've just been this has been on the side of my brain, and I just keep it pushing. So I didn't know any of these details.
Yeah, it's like this is a moment in which it's like, all right, well, I guess in this scenario, I don't personally believe in that everything is a lesser of two evils sort of thing.
But maybe this one is.
I think this one is. I think Netflix is actually more concerned. I think they're just pretty much concerned about making money.
Yeah.
Whereas I think Paramount at this point is probably concerned about making money and also serving their daddy.
Just like political gain.
Yeah. So it's a wild little time here. But here's if you are someone who wants to preserve the movie going experience, you have two options here. And the first one is the easiest one for some people. And that's go to the movies. Go to the movies. I'm someone who doesn't go to the movies that often. We also don't have a movie theater in our town. We have to travel minimum
30 minutes
25 minutes either way. And that's if there's no traffic.
Yeah.
So I don't go to the movies as much as I would like. But if you are someone who wants to, who has the means, who has access to a movie theater, go to the movies. Go to smaller movie theaters, independent movie theaters. Go support those businesses because that is how you keep movies alive. And the one way all these companies listen is with your wallet. So if they know that you're going to wait 3 months to watch it on streaming, they're going to start to cut out the middleman. They're going to start to cut out their time in the movie theaters. And along with that, you got to learn how to fucking act in a movie theater. Like
I was going to say.
You got to learn how to behave. We have to, as a culture, as a society, we have to relearn what it's like to be in a public space and what is appropriate and how to engage and what's not appropriate with how to engage. Turn your fucking phone off, or at the very least put it in a bag where you can't get it right away.
Yeah.
And the other option is to let streaming take over. Which I don't think it will. I think too many big filmmakers and actors and writers will want to. It's like the AI thing. They're gonna eventually fight back enough to where the big scary thing that's happening right now won't remain. It won't be sustainable.
I fucking hope so, brother.
Yeah.
It's getting so bleak. But my big thing with movies, other than them being so expensive, is the movie-going experience. And that's not really something that movie makers have any control over.
No. That's y'all and your kids.
That's y'all and your stink-ass, nasty-ass, loud-ass kids. That's not all kids. That's just some kids, the bad kids. And those bad kids become bad teenagers who become bad adults. Yeah. And I'm seated next to them every time we're at a movie. But yeah, that's the big thing for me. Like, I don't want to spend a bunch of money to go see something in a theater when I'm so distracted by everyone around me who can't shut up, can't get off their phone, just taking pictures, texting. Like, I think that's maybe where we need to start our work. We need more movie theaters that pay people enough to care about the experience of the people inside of the theater and have like strict policies. Put your phone in a bag. Those little bags that they give teenagers in school now. Your phone goes in there. You can't be trusted to use it anymore. You've been too bad. Kick them out of the theater.
Well, that's what, again, I fully blame Netflix for this because, again, they write, the way they write their shows. Remember when I said their fucking shows and movies at large suck? Because they write in such a way that
you don't have to pay attention.
You don't have to pay attention.
Yeah.
That's literally how they write it. And they write it and they film it where everyone's in the middle of the screen. That way you can watch it horizontally and it'll be fine. Not horizontally, vertically. Yeah. Excuse me. So.
Yeah.
Netflix.
But that's them coming to us where we're at.
Right.
We need to change where we're at so that they change it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know it's hard. I'm an anxious person by nature. I don't like being in movie theaters. But there are some things that deserve the movie theater experience. Like seeing Wicked in a movie theater and seeing Wicked at home, they don't compare.
No. Would have loved to have seen Wake Up
Superman-
Dead Man in a theater, but we didn't this time around.
See what?
I said I would have loved to have seen Wake Up Dead Man in a movie theater.
Yeah. But they didn't give us very much time. Wasn't it like a week?
Yeah. And it also wasn't playing anywhere near us, though. The two movie theaters that we normally go to.
Select theaters.
Yeah.
I would have seen it. But yeah, so I think it's a joint effort between them and us to get people back into the movie theaters. But also, like you mentioned, like independent movie theaters, small movie theaters, there can't be as many people bugging you if you're seated with 50 people instead of 200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
But all that to say, so I feel like because this is most likely, one of, if not our final episode of the year, let's say that for the big 2-6, you guys, we do two things. We practice the art of looking deeper into the subtext of our entertainment and whatever form of media we consume, whether it be novels or movies, TV shows, wrestling even. And then also learn how to behave in a more civilized fashion in public. I think those are two attainable if we work collectively and help one another out.
And the thing is, if you're watching this, I don't foresee you having an issue. I don't think you're one of those people, but
if in the off chance that you made it this far into this episode and you were one of those people, the next time you're in a movie theater and you want to pull out your phone, think of me fondly when I say, "Put your fucking phone away, you whore."
Whore.
Sorry. Should I take that out?
I was just going to say, think of people like John, the ADHD baddies, they cannot focus if they see a bright light anywhere.
That's true. That's all I think of.
That's know.
All I see.
It's just like, you can't tune it out. I also personally, for 2026, hope that maybe we all do a little better about enjoying the things that we enjoy. It doesn't always have to be doom and gloom, which is crazy coming from me because I'm very doom. If one thing goes wrong, I'm like, the whole day's ruined. And I have to try very hard. John witnessed me trying very hard today at Disney to stay positive and don't let the little minuscule things wreck the whole bigger picture.
Took a little nudging from me.
Yes, it did. Very much. One bad storyline in WWE doesn't ruin Raw for you. Just try to stay a little positive. I know that it's hard because the world is scary and terrible all the time. But you can control you and your outlook. And that's it. That's all you can control.
And you know what you just did? You gave your own spin on a John Cena quote where he said, "Control the controllable."
Oh my God. Kendra Cena.
And on that note, the 2025 season has come to an end.
Gosh.
Real quick, thank you guys for a really incredible year. We saw some really exciting growth in the podcast. Even though this year, personally, I was very booked and blessed in ways that I wasn't expecting. But I'm very, very happy and thankful for. And all the while, like even when we had to take these little weird extended breaks, you guys stuck around and you guys helped our show grow. So we really appreciate it. We're looking forward to continue that momentum into the new year. We're going to try and get back on a little bit more of a regular schedule.
You're the one with stuff to do, brother,
I'm
not
the
me.
one, I know. So, but now that my world is sort of streamlining a little bit and getting a little less chaotic than it's been, I think we'll be back to a little bit more of a normal schedule and some other exciting, hopefully, collaborations coming out in the next few months. But I have to ask those people first before I make that promise. ask them instead of just talk about it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we really appreciate just another great year. This is something we really love doing, and just having a chance to just sit and yap for a while, and y'all just y'all have been sticking around and listening to it, and we really appreciate you for that. So if you're not already, please follow us on all the various social medias. Follow us wherever you get your podcast from: Spotify, Apple, all that shit. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of our podcast episodes, as well as our live streams, go to our YouTube channel. Speaking of our live streams, make sure you're especially following us on TikTok and Twitch. That's where we put all of our live streams for pre-preview, our WWE-centric live stream, and Perez in the Parks, our theme park-centric live stream. So we got a lot going on over here. Also, don't forget to check out my other podcast, John/John, where myself and my buddy John talk about all things horror movies. He loves them. I'm learning to appreciate them. And it's a real fun time. So got a lot going on. So make sure you're following us on all the things to be notified of when new episodes drop or when we go live anywhere. With that said, thank you all, and we'll see you for the next one.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Peace.
Bye.